hello, and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be talking about what it's like to be an only child. So, today we are going to explore the mind of someone who grew up by themselves with no siblings. So, let's just get started into the video. I grew up having cousins that were about 8 to 20 years older than me, since my parents were the younger side of their siblings and they also waited a while to get married and have kids. All my other cousins were born at that point because they were their parents were older and they had kids young. So that was the first thing that kind of made this whole experience of being an only child very different. I had cousins, but they were all teenagers or adults as I was growing up, so that definitely changed the dynamic between all of us. I had some cousins who were really great and they would play games with me, watch movies, and entertain me and kind of like cater to me. So that was really awesome to have that. But what that meant is that I grew up around people older than me. I didn't really grow up with having family members around my age or younger, since none of my family members, like none of my cousins, had kids until I was a lot older. So that was definitely something that impacted me. I grew up being around my aunts and uncles, sometimes more than my cousins as well. So I grew up with even older people, and I had really great relationships with my grandparents. Even more so, I spent a lot of time with each of my grandparents, and so that really shaped my childhood, and just kind of how I interacted with my peers, because being an only child already is really hard. You don't have siblings to learn from and to experience life through, and you also don't really have to learn how to share, at least not in the same way that someone with siblings would. So that's kind of with my family. I love my cousins, and it was really great becoming an adult and kind of being like one of them. Even though they're still older than me, I can like join them in on things, and getting to actually know who my cousins really are, because when I was a kid, obviously they're not going to show me more of their like true selves, like adult selves. So that's been really interesting, getting that side of things with my relationship with my cousins and family once you become an adult. So that's that. And then also growing up in my neighborhood, I was also the youngest out of all my neighborhood friends. So I had about four or five different neighborhood friends. One was a year older, one was 2 years older, one was 3 years older, and one was 4 years older. So again, all being older than me, but at least closer to my age and still going through very similar life things and growing up with the same music and entertainment and life circumstances and toys and stuff. So that was really great, but still, once again, I'm growing up with people who are older than me. So again, having that mindset of wanting to hang out with people who are older and just being more accustomed to that, I think definitely made it harder sometimes with peers and also even people younger than me. So that definitely played a huge role in my like elementary school days. I hung out with them a lot. Definitely some people from school as well, like maybe like 2 or 3 from school, but mostly my neighborhood friends. And then once they either moved away or like we just kind of grew up and grew apart, was middle school. So going to middle school, I had no friends at this point in my life, and being an only child, I was really lonely. My only friend was my mom. I literally had a sleepover with my mom one time, and I remember in 6th grade, I was like trying to build friendships again because of just going to a new middle school and kind of dispersing friendships happening off of elementary school. So that was definitely really hard and a lonely time. Not saying that if you have siblings, you also don't experience this stuff, but I think being an only child, I definitely like latched on to my family and to my dog. I had a dog growing up, a golden retriever, and so I really latched on to my dog in like middle school because I just spent so much of my time alone until I started to make friends, and then my friends kind of became like a huge role in my life, as most friends do. But as an only child, I was like, my friends are like my family. I care about them so much, and I want to be around them all the time and do things with them, and I always crave this like best friend, sister like relationship with some of my friends. Ever since I was little, I always wanted that one best friend that's like a sister. We do everything together. My parents are her parents, and her parents are my parents. But that never really happens. I have great friends. Some I do call best friends, and some I call good friends and close friends. But I've never had that best friend. And I think that that is okay. I've kind of looked past it as it's really great to have a multitude of friends that you can go to for different things and not just that one person. But still, kind of always wanted that. So now that we've talked about friends and all of that stuff, I know you guys are probably dying to ask, were you spoiled? Now, I always never really liked this question growing up because it's like, well, what does spoiled mean to you, to me? I think people would assume like you get everything you want. And while I think that this is how I like to look at it, I like to look at it as I'm an only child, so my parents only have one kid to pour all of their time and resources into, and that goes with helping me with homework, that goes with helping me practice for extracurricular activities, and that goes to resources for gifts and stuff like that. So I don't think I was necessarily spoiled monetarily, but I think I was spoiled in the sense that I got to have my parents' undivided attention, which can also be a curse because as you start to grow up into a teenager, they don't have other kids to focus on, and so you're the only kid. And that's a lot of pressure and also kind of an encroachment and kind of feels suffocating sometimes because they always want to spend time with you and they always want to know what you're doing and always want to be involved and all this stuff, which is great. I'm not saying having involved parents is bad, but as you're growing up into a teenager and you want more independence and you want more freedom and you just want more privacy and not having to answer and tell your parents every little single thing, it can kind of be hard. Sometimes you just want time alone to yourself. So that's kind of what I struggled with growing up into a teenager, was that aspect. Now on the spoiled thing, I always looked at my other friends who got things faster than I did, like the newest technology, the newest toys, and vice versa, like newest iPhone and newest Barbie dolls growing up. So in that respect, I wouldn't say that I was spoiled. Like I didn't get everything that I wanted, but again, I will recognize that I'm an only child, so my parents' resources like only have to go to me. They don't have to spread it out evenly amongst multiple kids when it comes to paying for things. So I think that definitely influenced, and I'm definitely super grateful for that. But I don't think that I was spoiled in the sense that anything I asked for, anything that I wanted, I just got automatically. I had to like use my allowance money, use my birthday money, work for it. I could make a list for my birthday and say that these are the things that I want, but I'm not guaranteed to get them. And I like that. I like that I wasn't just like handed the newest iPhone or the newest iPod Touch, the newest technology whenever it came out, but I do recognize that my parents love me and they have a lot to bless me with, and so because I'm an only child, they could bless me with the things that they had. So that's kind of what I have to say about being an only child. It is a very complex issue, not issue, but like a complex topic because everyone who's an only child is going to have very differing experiences. I have one friend who's an only child and it's been nice to relate to her on certain things. She always had like an open house, open door policy, always had her friends just like come over whenever and all the time. I'm a little bit different because my parents are a little bit more reserved, and so I was never really raised to just like have people show up unannounced and for me to also go show up unannounced to other people's houses. So that was never really a part of my life, but it was really cool to see how her parents raised her when it comes to being an only child and the benefits that she got with having like a revolving door of friends coming in and out whenever they wanted to. So that is all I have to say for being an only child. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below. I know that I probably forgot something. So yeah, I hope you found this insightful and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.